America is attempting the most radical economic pivot in human history. Factories are coming back. Microchips are being reshored. Leaders are building what they call the new industrial fortress. On the surface, it looks like a landslide victory for the American worker. Under the hood, the engine is smoking. The United States national debt just crossed $34 trillion. Here's the part Wall Street is only whispering about. America is rebuilding its entire industrial base at the exact moment that cheap money died. For 40 years, the United States grew because interest rates were almost zero. Money was cheap. Borrowing was easy. Now, every brick laid in Arizona and every turbine installed in Texas is being financed at interest rates the country hasn't seen in a generation. This isn't just a manufacturing boom, it's a $5 trillion sovereign debt trap. Today, we're looking at the data the mainstream media ignores and exposing why the Made in USA dream might actually trigger a massive currency collapse. Welcome to Future Files USA. For 3 decades, the global economy followed one ruthless rule: efficiency over everything. Factories moved to Asia because it was cheaper. Supply chains stretched across oceans because it was faster. Global trade expanded because it was profitable. This system created one of the lowest inflation periods in modern history. It gave consumers the $300 television and the $5 gallon of milk. That system died in 2020. Now, the new rule is different: resilience over efficiency. The United States government is spending billions of dollars through the CHIPS Act and the Inflation Reduction Act to bring production back home. There's a massive invisible tax hidden inside this transition. When you move a factory from a low-cost region to a high-cost country like the United States, your entire cost structure changes. Labor becomes more expensive, regulation becomes more expensive, energy becomes more expensive. Most importantly, debt becomes more expensive. The United States is trying to build a 21st century industrial powerhouse using a financial system that is already drowning in debt. In the year 2024, something historic happened. For the first time ever, the United States government spent more money on interest payments than on its entire defense budget. Think about that. America is now paying more money to service its debt than it spends on the Pentagon. The real question becomes this: how do you fund a new industrial revolution when you can barely afford the interest on the last one? The situation gets even more complicated. Even if America builds the factories, it doesn't fully control the ingredients. To power a high-tech economy, the United States needs massive quantities of rare earth minerals, lithium and cobalt. These materials are essential for microchips, batteries, and advanced technology. The supply chains for many of these resources are controlled by the very countries America is trying to reduce dependence on. This is where geopolitics enters the picture. To secure these resources, the United States must project power across global trade routes. Every time tensions rise in the Middle East or the South China Sea, the war risk premium on these resources increases, and that drives prices higher. The result is a double squeeze. On one side, domestic manufacturing costs are rising because of American wages, regulation, and debt. On the other side, raw material costs are rising because of geopolitical instability. This creates what economists call an inflationary loop. It's something Wall Street completely underestimated. Reshoring was supposed to bring stability. Instead, it's creating persistent volatility. If a choke point like the Strait of Hormuz closes, or if trade routes in the Pacific are disrupted, these multi-billion-dollar factories inside the United States could suddenly become stranded assets. Gigantic machines, extremely expensive, without fuel and without parts. America may be building a fortress, The keys to that fortress still sit inside the supply chains of its competitors. What happens next? The United States is betting everything on innovation. The hope is that artificial intelligence, automation, and advanced manufacturing will make American factories so productive that the high cost of labor and debt won't matter. There is one major problem. Innovation takes time. Debt does not. Right now, the United States is in a race against the clock. If automation transforms these factories quickly enough, the system might stabilize. If debt grows faster than productivity, the outcome could be something far worse, a stagflationary nightmare. High prices, low growth, and a weakening currency. The global financial system is already shifting. The world is slowly moving away from a debt-driven global economy toward a fragmented system built around resources, security, and strategic supply chains. For the average American household, this transition means something very real. The standard of living could face its biggest stress test since the 1930s. The invisible tax of this transition is already appearing in grocery bills, insurance costs, and housing prices. This isn't just corporate greed, it's the real cost of rebuilding a fractured world economy. The Made in USA label is a powerful dream, but every dream comes with a price. Right now, America is rebuilding its economic house with extremely expensive debt. In other words, it's renovating the future using a very dangerous loan. In the next decade, the winner won't be the country with the most factories. The winner will be the country with the most financial resilience. Here's the real question. Is the return of American manufacturing worth the risk of a massive economic reset? Are we entering a decade where price stability becomes a thing of the past? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe the United States can innovate its way out of a $34 trillion debt trap? If you value data-driven analysis over mainstream noise, subscribe to Future Files USA, because we're tracking the global shifts that actually matter. I'll see you in the next one.